Welcome back to our final presentation on the history of Vere Technical High School. I trust that you have been having an opportunity to go through the other presentations. I trust that they were meaningful to you. I remind you that at any point as you go through the presentations, the revision exercises, that you can stop the video presentations at any time, and you can go back and watch them over and over again just to ensure that you get the concept. So as I had indicated at the very onset, that this was the fourth in a series. Well, we had said initially 3, but it's actually the fourth in a series of revision exercises video, revision exercise presentations. Let's get at that. Video revision presentations on the history of Vere Technical High School. So without much ado, without wasting your time anymore, let us go through. In this presentation, we are looking at first timers of Vere Technical High School. Then we want to look at some Olympians who came out of the hollowed halls of Vere Technical High School. And then we look at some alumni associations. These are organizations made up of past students of Vere Technical High School who are responsible for helping the school in one way or another. Then we will quickly look at biography of Ben Francis and some special awards and stuff. In this section, we won't go a lot through this section, alright? But we want to look at the emblems of our school. So there are 3 of them here. There are more, but we'll just focus on the 3 of them here, alright? So let us go and see how quickly we can get this section of the revision done. Now, in Vere Technical High School, there are some important persons that we need to familiarize ourselves with. So, for example, the very first principal of Vere Technical High School was Colonel Ben Francis. Alright? So let us remember that now. So, Colonel Ben Francis. Oh, come on. Colonel Ben Francis, I'm trying to find, come on guy, come on. Oh, nothing is highlighted, so let's use the yellow. Alright, so Colonel Ben Francis was the first principal of Vere Technical High School. Was the first principal of Vere Technical High School. Right? And then we had now the first vice principal was this gentleman, Enos Barrett, a nickname Froggy. But his correct name is Enos Barrett. Alright? And then remember now, Lilith Atkins Bryan was the first female vice principal. And she actually became the first female FEMALE first female principal PRIN. Alright, so not only was she the first female vice principal, but she was the first female principal. You know, while we're at it, you know, let me just bring something to your attention. Remember in the previous video presentation, that's number 3, we had said to you that there were 5, let's close that there were 5 principals, 5 persons who served as, 6 persons who served as principal. So let's look at it. You have Colonel Ben Francis, you have Lilith Atkins Bryan, Dr. Henrietta Stewart, Rosemary Logan, who served as the first interim principal, and then you have Mrs. Antoinette Banton Ellis. Now you'll notice that of the lot, and then and currently we have Major O'Neill Lowen, and of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them, only 2 of them have been males. So the very first principal was a male, and the current principal, acting principal, is a male. And in between the 2 of them, we had all females. So of the 6 persons who have served as principal or interim or acting principal, 4 have been females, and two have been males. The first and the present one. Okay, that just popped in my head, and I thought I'd just share that with you quickly. All right. So the first female. Oh, and I got it wrong. So let's go again. So the first female principal was Mrs. Atkins Brown. The first female vice principal was Ines Cook. All right. So let's correct that. Mr. Gunn made a mistake. So we are going to, and I'm not stopping the video. I want you to know that I do make mistakes also. So we're going to adjust that. So the first principal was Ben Francis. The first vice principal of male or female, first vice principal was Enos Barrett, otherwise called Froggy. The first female principal was Lilith Atkin Bryan, and the first female vice principal was Ines Cook. Okay. Then we had Stenton Sammy Knott, who was the first head boy. Let's get back our marker. Right. So that's the first head boy. Alright. And then the first head girl, first female head girl, was Eugene Edwards. And what is interesting about her was that she came from the community. What this is suggesting, so she's the first girl from the community of Hayes to hold this type of leadership office in the school, position in the school. What this is telling us is that the first head boy was not from the Vere play, was not from the area. Okay? But we know now that the first head girl came from the area. Then the first Olympian from Vere Technical High School. Listen carefully now. Not the first Olympian from Jamaica. Merlin Otis is not the first Olympian from Jamaica. The first Olympian from Jamaica was way back in the 1940s, who attended the Berlin Olympic Games right there in Germany. Alright, I don't remember his name right now. But the first Olympian from Vere Technical High School was Merlin Otis. And up to recently, she was still running, not for Jamaica, but she was running for a country known as Slovenia. Yes, Slovenia, I think it is. Alright? And she is known in the track circle as the grandmother of athletics. The first Olympian in the English-speaking Caribbean to win the 200 meters. 200 meters. First Olympian, so she was the first Olympian in the English-speaking Caribbean to win the 200 meter, and the youngest Jamaican to obtain a medal at the Olympic game, which was in 2004, is none other than Veronica Brown. And everybody knows Veronica Brown. Alright? She's a stalwart on the Olympic circuit, was a stalwart on the Olympic scene, on the track circles, until she retired. So let's close that. Okay. Then other Olympians were Dion Hemmings. She became the first Jamaican to win the 400 hurdles at the Olympic Games, and she did it in record time. And then the class of 1967, the first student at Vere Technical High School to sit the A-level exam. The A-level exam is something similar to CAPE that we now sit. Alright, but it was examined in England. So the class of 67 was the first set of students at Vere Technical High School to sit that exam. And Lilith Atkin Bryan and Isilda Hamilton Core were the first female management team. Alright? So, other Olympians of Vere Technical High School, other outstanding Olympians, included Michael Blackwood. We spoke about Merlin Otis, we spoke about Dan Henry, we spoke about Veronica Campbell, but you had Aileen Bailey. So let's underline that name. It's not Aileen, it's Aileen Bailey. Alright? That's Aileen Bailey. Then you had Beverly McDonald. Then you had Sharifa Lloyd and Lacina Golden. We already spoke about Dion Hemming. She's now married McCarthy. Sometimes you'll see her on TVJ during Olympics time. Then you have Claudine Williams, Madeira Hyman, and there are more. If you were to check it out, there are more. There are more Olympians. Okay. All right, we'll close that. And then there are 4 major associations, alumni association that help with Vere. They are like past students, and they help with Vere. So when our children go, let's say to a Penn's Relay in Philadelphia, or they go overseas for track events or whatever the activities that they may be a part of, then we have past students of Vere Technical High School who form these, we call them chapters, these 4 chapters of the Vere Past Students Association. So we have the Toronto, Canada chapter, which is located in Canada, Toronto. We have the New York chapter, the Jamaica chapter, and the Florida chapter. And they do a great job in assisting. Alright? And I said to you, quickly, let's talk about Ben Francis. His motto was the awareness of one's duty as a citizen must not be allowed to wear thin against the perennial abrasive of personal concerns. And Ben was both an educator, administrator, he was a management specialist, and he was we have it here, he's a retired principal, but he's deceased now. Alright? Ben Francis was a retired colonel and commandant in the Jamaica Combined Cadet Force. That's why cadet is very close to Vere Technical High School, and that's why you would have heard Major Lewin encouraging all our boys to be a part of the cadet. He was an outstanding educator, and he was a director of the Prairie School, that is in Kingston. And there are many accolades about Ben Francis that you can read up on your own. And he got many awards. And one other thing I want to bring to your attention is that the Ben Francis Cup, that football competition that Glenmuir just won, right, was named after Ben Francis, one of those stalwart educators in Clarendon. Okay? And he got many honors from the country. So he got the Order of Distinction Officer Class. He got the Michael College 150th Anniversary Medal for Service to Education. He got quite a number of awards. But where I want to take you to now is that I want to take you to some emblems. Now there are 3 emblems, 3 very important emblems of Vere Technical High School. When you enter the halls of Vere Technical High School, one of the first things that you'll see is this bust of Ben Francis. Alright? Just to show you the impact that Ben Francis had on education in Lower Clarendon, the Vere Plains, and the impact he made in the area through Vere Technical High School. And then there's our school song. And by now, all of you should have known our school song. Molding our minds for the future. You know the rest. Sing the rest, let me hear you. To be the best that we can be. I know we will achieve. Why? We're paving the way to reach our dreams. Building knowledge, skills, and discipline. This has been our motto true. It will be your aim in view. And the chorus, everybody, sing with me, everybody. Vere Technical, always soaring high. Vere Technical, we'll keep the spirit alive. Vere Technical, aiming for the best. Bless Vere Technical today. God bless Vere Technical today. And you know the second verse. You must know your song. You must sing it as long as you live and be proud to be a student of Vere Technical High School. The final thing is our logo. This is Vere's logo. And the notation says that this is a school's crest. The crest embodies many of the symbols that represent our school and its history. The outer ring, which is a section here of the crest, reflects the name of the school and the date in which the school was established. This is followed by 4 quadrants and a banner across the bottom quadrant of the school motto. So this is what we are talking about right here. Alright? And we say each quadrant is a representation of the school's history, culture, and tradition. It describes the values our school upholds as well as its origin. The motto is easy to remember and one you should live by: knowledge, skill, and discipline. This is our last video. Vere Technical, do well in your exam. Grade 7, I'll see you later, bye, take care. Ta-ta!